Words. We use words all day, every day to communicate with ourselves. We call this our internal dialogue or self-talk. And just as the way that other people use words to communicate with us determines how we feel about them, the way that we use words inside of our own mind plays a pivotal role in how we feel about ourselves and life itself. Quite literally, the words that we use to describe an experience become the experience, because words have a biochemical effect on the body. If I say, for example, I'm absolutely devastated, or I say, I'm slightly disappointed, to describe a situation, I will experience a different biochemical effect on the body just because of the words I use and the emotional intensity that I attach to those words. Now, the problem is that often the first word that we think of to describe a situation is not necessarily the one that is most self-serving. In fact, to varying degrees and with different people it's different, but it can be quite self-defeating, especially because the brain has a negative bias as part of its evolutionary survival mechanism. So the very first word that comes to our mind, if we validate this word to describe our experience, we may be doing ourselves an emotional disservice. What I'd like to do in this video is talk about just two little words that most people use daily and the emotional consequences of these words, and what, if anything, we can do to enhance our experiences. I have to fix the car tomorrow. I've got to get up early. I have to go to work tomorrow. I have to work all weekend. I've got so many jobs that need doing. Maybe one day I'll get around to actually doing a job that I want to do. Sound familiar? Pretty common sentences, right? I've said plenty of sentences like this in my life, and I'm guessing that you have too. What was the common thread throughout all these sentences? Fairly obvious. It was the use of the words have to, or words synonymous with have to, like need to, got to. So here's the salient question. How do you normally feel when you have to do something? Try it now. I have to go to work. I have to get up early tomorrow. Most people, when they are told they have to do something by somebody else or themselves, feel varying levels or degrees of resistance. Most people don't like being told what they have to do. They feel controlled. And when they are told that they have to do something, or when they tell themselves that they have to do something, often on a subconscious level, what they are actually hearing or saying is this: I'd rather be doing something else. But I can't, I don't have a choice. I am not free. I'm being controlled. And for most people, a lack of control is very unsettling. And freedom is very important to them. And that is being taken away with these two little words. You have to do this, you have to do that. How does it make you feel? For most people, it's a negative response. Varying levels of negativity. Often stress at all the things that you have to do. Stress and frustration. Anger even. Overwhelm. There's a huge list of things that you have to do. All these things you're being forced to do. You have no choice. You have no free will. You don't feel good about it. And then there are certain behavioral consequences because of these negative emotions. Some people withdraw. Other people fight fire with fire and react, getting themselves into all sorts of trouble. Often there's even a self-sabotaging comportment. When a person feels like they don't have any control over a situation, then they resist, even if it's in a self-defeating manner, just to show how much control that they have. And paradoxically, these behaviors actually take the person further away from their desired outcomes than closer to it. And I think what we'll do is run the tape for the solutions and see how we can change this situation. So we've ascertained how many people feel when they have to do something. So salient question number 2. How do you normally feel when you choose to do something? Normally there is a sense of empowerment when people choose to do something. Because by definition, the decision is by choice. They're not being forced to do anything, so they don't feel like they're forced to do anything. There's a sense of autonomy and a sense of ownership and a sense of freedom. Try it for yourself now. Compare the two different phrases and see how you feel. I have to go to work tomorrow. I choose to go to work tomorrow because I enjoy providing for my family. Feels good. Was there a difference for you? If you're like most people, there is a definite shift in emotional consequence. Now there's a very small shift in action, a very small shift just changing 2 little words. But the effect, the result, can be huge. Especially as this is a habit. It's words that we use every single day. Many times. So if you're habitually producing negative emotions or you're habitually producing neutral or positive emotions, it's going to yield very different outcomes. So how do we use this? How do we make it concrete? I'm going to share my screen, so just a moment, and we'll walk through it. We can ask ourselves the following questions. Number 1, what are some of the things in your life you feel like you have to do? So let's put an example in there to make it concrete. Let's say I have to fix the car. Question 2, how is that perspective making you feel? Maybe annoyed and frustrated, a bit stressed. Question 3, do you really have to do this? What would happen if you didn't? What are the options? So I could say, no, I actually don't have to do this. I could take my car to a mechanic, but I don't want to spend money paying someone to do what I could do myself. Or some options, I could decide to not fix it at all and not have a car. But this would have pretty negative consequences. So question 4, what are the benefits then of doing the action? Well, I get to enjoy the freedom of having a car. And the final step, step 5, make the choice with the lucid knowledge that you're acting in your own best interest. This feels good to most people. Change your thinking from I have to what is actually true. I choose to because. And the because is very important. It makes your why front and center, which plays a huge role in our levels of pleasure associated with the task. Why do runners and bodybuilders endure the pain of a tough workout? It's because they associate more pleasure to their why than the pain of doing the task. So much that they actually enjoy what others would describe as unenjoyable. So the change looks like this. The original thought, I have to fix the bloody car. The new, intelligent, accurate thought is this. I choose to fix the car because I enjoy having the freedom to drive where I want, when I want, to do the things that I want. When you think about it, there are actually very few things that you actually have to do. You can choose not to work. You don't have to work. Choose not to. There are very real consequences to this choice, to be sure. I'm not advising it. But by definition, it is a choice. You are not being forced to do most things that you say to yourself constantly that you have to do, you need to do. You choose to do these things because of the benefit they produce for you in your life. Okay, it's a very different meaning. I have to do something, I choose to do something because of the benefit it produces. This is the key point of today's session. The words that we use matter more than most people realize to the way that we feel. And the way that we feel plays a huge role in the outcomes that we produce. And the outcomes that we produce is our life. You know, a little shift of changing a couple of words might seem like a small thing, but you make a couple of small shifts, change a few core habits, and your life looks completely different. I often use the analogy of someone with a golf swing. They change their golf swing 2 centimeters here. And the ball lands at meters and meters away than where it would have with the original swing just by making that shift here. Okay, maybe it even lands on the green instead of in the ditch, to continue with the metaphor. That's what I'm advocating here. Changing a few small habits and creating the lives that we really want to. And one of the ways we can do this is by watching the words that we habitually tell ourselves on a daily basis. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope this session was valuable for you. If you got any value out of it at all, please give it a thumbs up and a comment and share it and get the message out, because you know this information is useful information, I believe, that we weren't taught in school, and it's information that could really benefit a lot of people. So thanks, everybody. Have a great day. Cheers.